Let's watch some important videos now of Prime Minister Netanyahu talking. There's a few different Netanyahu videos right now. Let's start with his English video.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow.
Jake, I just want to point out, you hear how hoarse Netanyahu is. He's obviously under very serious strain, and yet he looks good. He looks strong, and this mission is called Am Kilavi. We'll hear that in Hebrew, which is a verse, which is like a nation of lions or a lion's nation, whatever it is. But you could see, you know, now it's just so important to say before we let him go on that we're talking about Prime Minister Netanyahu. He's been talking about the Iranian danger for 25 years, for 25 years, okay? And tonight is his big night. Tonight he has struck against his personal enemy that he has been talking about for 25 years. So here's a man that's hoarse. Here's a man that's, how old is he? Over 70 years old for sure. And tonight he is, you know, this is his crowning achievement. He has fired back finally. They put it at brinksmanship. They brought it to fruition. They almost had the bomb. Tonight, Netanyahu is stopping them. So, okay, that's what we're listening to. We're listening to a man who's like fulfilling a certain kind of life mission.
Those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 3.
All right, just let's hear what he just said. That Prime Minister Netanyahu is like, this is not just a strike against the nuclear bomb itself, but also the delivery capabilities. And if I can ask you just to move a little closer because of the small screen, but the strike is big, and they're already giving out. Maybe he'll say it in the speech as well. They're already letting us know that this is a multi-week. This is not just a strike like the last strike against Iran. Right. They've said it's going to be 2 weeks of strikes. They've had 5 waves of strikes already. They've hit hundreds of targets. Additionally, they've hit oil fields that are crucial for their resupply and their financial steps. And as you said, 25 years he's been talking about this. We've seen him speak at the UN. We've seen him show charts. We've seen him pull out all of the files that Israeli Secret Service picked up in Iran and carried back to Israel that showed the research and development and the weapons program that Iran always claimed that it wasn't doing, but Israel's had the proof. They've shown the proof. The world has seen the proof. You get people who are making excuses and lying. Tucker Carlson said on the news the other day, Iran's not pursuing a bomb. This is ridiculous. But everyone's seen the receipts. Everyone knows it's there. The IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, has seen proof, evidence of weaponization programs in Iranian facilities. This attack was long in coming. Iran's had over 2 decades to turn off their nuclear program, to stop pursuing a bomb. They never turned it off. They never stopped. And all the while, they stated what their goal is. Their goal is the annihilation of Israel. And you mess with the bull, you get the horns. Okay, so now let's get back to Prime Minister Netanyahu and his English
100
statement.
ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies try to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country.
Okay, beautiful phrase there about the soldiers of Israel warding off the attack of October 7th. But the October 7th attack, in many ways, was very successful. Maybe not in the scope that Iran would have liked, but certainly in isolating Israel around the world. And that's part of the fight, and we just saw it at the UN, where the UN voted to stop the war unilaterally, calling for Israel to stop the war without delay, and not talking about the hostages, not talking about Israel's justification. So, the war, the October 7th attack, has been in many ways very successful. But in other ways, not successful. Israel is surviving. Israel is continuing to thrive. Israel's fighting back. The soldiers have a great spirit. But in the meantime, as the world is kind of ganging up on us, Iran's trying to sneak in the nuclear bomb, which again, I'm pretty certain they would have just chucked it in one shot the minute they had it ready. So what Netanyahu is saying is October 7th was a failure. This is a new way. What do you think about that, Jake? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, was October 7th a failure? Look, Israel has been held back for a long time because of the threat from the north. And how did that threat get there? Look, when Israel pulled back in 2000 from southern Lebanon, from that security buffer, Iran filled it with missiles. Hezbollah had 150 to 200,000 missiles, and we had a threat from the north. This is part of the Ring of Fire. 5 years later, Israel pulled out of Gaza. Iran filled it with missiles. So we had the threat from down there. Of course, there's the ever-present threat of the Palestinian Authority, which also has a stated goal of the destruction of Israel, though people like to ignore that. And what happened after October 7th was you had a triggering of the destruction of the things that were safeguarding Iran, the destruction of Hamas in Gaza, the destruction of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and it freed up Israel to take the action that it's needed to take for a long time, but has been concerned it couldn't handle all of it at once and all those threats at once.
I like what you're saying very much. I would also like to add that one of the failures of October 7th was the conceptia, the concept or the belief that Hamas had been deterred. Maybe October 7th is something that changed the consciousness in Israel and the leadership to be like, we can't play around anymore. These guys mean business, and we can't have these false beliefs that somehow everything is going to be honky-dory. They're deterred. Okay, all right, let's give a...
And I think I want to add to that it changed the consciousness among so many Israelis in the grassroots, in the Amcha, and the people, that we can't rely on this deterrence, because what we know now is that while we thought they were deterred by our attempts at appeasement and payoffs, mafia payoffs to Hamas, in fact, they were preparing for this. And we've seen now, since October 7th, we've seen footage that actually we found out we had all along of their preparations for the exact type of attack that they did on October. So not only did they prep it, and it was filmed and it was broadcast, but they had the full drawn out plans. And we learned that not only did they have plans for how they would attack, but they used their workers who entered on work visas into every Israeli town and every Israeli city, and they mapped out every town. They mapped out where the police were, where the rapid response teams were, which houses had people who served in security forces, which houses had guns, which houses had dogs, where were the threats, what was the first target. And they mapped all of that out, and the same was being done in the north by Hezbollah, and Hamas screwed up because they jumped the gun. They went first, and it wasn't coordinated, or Israel would have had to deal with a pincher
two-front war.
A two-front war. at the same time. So all of that deterrence was, we learned, and Israel learned, it was in the minds of the wishful thinking of the people and of the leadership, and that's the conceptia. And there are some people who still think that way today, who we've heard even this week talk about in Gaza. Well, what can we do? We can't get rid of Hamas. Let's find some new local militias to fight them. We'll arm them. We'll pay them. And it's the same conceptia thinking. So there's still some problem, some flaws, some glitch, some srita, as we say in Hebrew, in the mind of some of the leadership. But what we're seeing here is finally what the country's been demanding for a long time, which is protect us. Because it's not enough to have a missile defense shield that's 95% reliable, because all it takes is one nuclear bomb. It was President Ahmadinejad said 20 years ago, Israel's a one-bomb country. All we need is one nuke, and they're wiped out. Because you hit Tel Aviv, you hit a major population center, and it is so debilitating that Israel becomes extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, let's just make it clear. Israel does not want a nuclear bomb dropped on it, and we're going to stop it. Let's keep listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
We crushed Hamas. We devastated Hezbollah. We hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too,
I just want to say that what he's talking about now is what I call liberation nation. And that is part of what Israel is doing here is it's defending itself. It's also liberating Iran and the Iranian people from these dastardly, corrupt, life-hating mullahs who torture their own citizens, pluck them off the streets when they democratically protest, torture them, do horrible things. And the Iranian people all over that are not inside Iran always tell us, Israel, you got to help us. You got to get rid of this regime. It's endangering you. It's destroying our life. It's destroying our beautiful country, our ancient civilization of Iran. And so that's what he's talking about, Prime Minister Netanyahu. He's talking about what I call liberation nation.
Intelligence estimates say that 60% of Iranians want this regime gone. And they have no means of overthrowing it because it's a police state. So like there's a police state in the Palestinian Authority, like there was a police state in Gaza, like there was a police state in southern Lebanon among Hezbollah and even in Syria. That's what Iran is. And there are people who said last year when Israel struck, oh, now Israel can strike Iran because they've struck Israel, as though its proxies aren't also a strike. Iran has been striking Israel this entire time. Every time that Hamas has fired a rocket, and Hamas has continued to fire rockets for the last 18 months, that's Iran striking Israel. And now they're getting the payback, and now they're getting stopped. And this is the bully being pushed back.
That's right. This is Goliath being taken down. Let's keep listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu. And actually, before we go back to Prime Minister Netanyahu, I just want to say there are thousands of people watching right now, and it's not because because the show is so fabulous. It's really because there's people around the world who love Israel, who care for Israel, who want to see Israel successful, are praying for Israel. And right now, here we are praying together for Israel's success, for the military success, for the destruction of the Iranian bomb, and I would say the toppling of the Iranian regime, which is probably a process that has begun at this moment. Let's keep listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
To the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near.
Whoa. This is big talk. I did not expect to hear this. This is big stuff. That he's actually calling for regime change here, Jake.
Amen.
He's saying it. He is not hiding it. I wasn't sure that he was going to go there. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm seeing some of these videos for the first time. And I'm pretty, I hear what he's saying. He's calling for what we were just talking about, liberation nation, regime change. This is it. He's really saying it. And I think that, again, you have to kind of look at it as a novel. This is a 25-year in the making conflict, and it's happening right now. This is Netanyahu's big moment. I remember hearing him at the AIPAC conference 25 years ago, warning about a nuclear Iran. So I guess this night on the calendar was the night that Prime Minister Netanyahu struck back at Iran, and now he's saying this is not just a fight against the bomb, it's against this regime, and this is a moment of potential liberation for the Iranian people.
Just to add to that, this is a fight that's been coming since 1979, since the Ayatollah took over in Iran, because they've been exporting terrorism, exporting jihad, calling for a global caliphate, calling for death to Israel, death to America, ever since 1979. They never stopped, and they've been consistent. So this they've had coming to them for a long, long time.
All right, let's get back to Prime Minister.
That happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons.
World's most dangerous regime to get the world's most dangerous weapon. Very good line.
Nuclear weapons to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chants of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll.
All right, this video got a little bit cut off, but the point is clear. Prime Minister Netanyahu, with a passionate call for the world to understand why this fight is on, why he is hitting Iran in a multiple times just this evening, with deaths in their military leadership and scientific leadership, and basically stopping the bomb from coming to fruition. And then he went into something that a lot of people are not connected to, but it's so important, which is the lessons of World War II, the catastrophic forcing of Czechoslovakia to cede land and to cede their defensive walls to the Nazis in order to appease the Nazis, and that went very, very badly with 100 million dead altogether in the war I think, is that the number?
When you add them all up,
when you add up, yeah. I think that was the number that I heard. But hundreds, tens of millions, if not 100 million, of dead. We can't allow that, and that is why Netanyahu has struck tonight. I have to say, I need to say that, and I'm happy to say it, that I was not certain that Prime Minister Netanyahu could do it or would do it. And some people asked me, and I've been critical. And I'm not sad that I was critical, but I'm happy that I was wrong. There was a long period where we knew this problem, and it kept going, and it's right at the very edge here, right at the very brink, that finally it's been attacked. Let me play another video for you of Prime Minister Netanyahu talking in Hebrew, which I think is important.
ישראל, גרוני אמנם ניחר הערב, אבל קולנו נשמע ברמה.
Okay, citizens of Israel, my voice may be hoarse tonight, but our voice is being heard very clearly.
אנחנו נמצאים ברגע מכריע בתולדות ישראל.
We're at a great a crossroad for the state of Israel.
לפני שעה קלה, מבצע עם כלבי יצא לדרך.
Okay, an hour ago, the Am Kilavi, the nation like a lion, mission, operation began.
הטייסים האמיצים שלנו תוקפים מספר רב של מטרות ברחבי איראן.
Okay, our brave pilots are striking at many places, many targets in Iran.
מטרת המבצע חסר התקדים הזה היא לפגוע בתשתיות הגרעין של איראן, במפעלי הטילים הבליסטיים.
This unprecedented attack is in order to strike at the nuclear capabilities and the missile capabilities.
של איראן, וברבות ביכולותיה הצבאיות של איראן.
And its military abilities.
מבצע זה יימשך ככל שידרש, עד שנשלים את המשימה.
This is not a short mission. Rather, it's going to take time, and it's going to be completed when we complete the goals of this mission.
להדוף את איום ההשמדה שמרחף מעל ראשנו.
To push back the danger of annihilation which hovers over us.
אני מצדיע מעומק ליבי למפקדי צה"ל וחייליו, לחיל האוויר.
I salute from the bottom of my heart. I salute the IDF and the IAF, the Israeli Air Force.
לאגף המודיעין ולמוסד.
And the intelligence and the Mossad.
על התכנון הנועז של המבצע.
At the very Noaz,
the preparation.
But it's Noaz means daring. The daring preparation, the daring vision for this mission.
ועל הביצוע הנחוש והעוצמתי.
And the strong and targeted fulfillment of the mission's goal.
כמובן אני חייב לומר לכם, לאיראן עדיין יש יכולות משמעותיות.
Iran, I gotta warn you, Iran has strong capabilities
לפגוע בנו. וגם
to continue to hurt us. So therefore, don't drop your guard.
כך נערכנו. אני מבקש את שיתוף הפעולה של כולכם, אזרחי ישראל.
I'm asking all of you, citizens of Israel, to take part in this. I need your cooperation.
שיתוף פעולה הדוק בשעות ובימים הקרובים.
I need your close cooperation in the next few days.
לאורך כל חודשי מלחמת התקומה, אתם גיליתם יכולת מופלאה של עמידה איתנה.
You have shown great ability to withstand this whole 600 days of war.
אנו זקוקים ליכולת העמידה הזאת ביתר שאת עכשיו.
We need your ability to withstand the pressures, specifically at this time.
וגם בימים הבאים.
And in the next few
אני
days.
מבקש מכם, הקפידו הקפדה יתרה על הוראות פיקוד העורף.
Listen very carefully to the civil administration and the rear guard, the home front command. Be very attuned to their orders.
ההוראות הללו מצילות חיים רבים.
These commands save lives.
אנחנו עומדים יחד בשותפות גורל, יחד בערבות הדדית.
We are together, and we have to care about things together right now. We have to unify.
ברוח המיוחדת של עמנו.
Our special spirit is what gives us strength.
הן עם כלבי יקום, וכארי יתנשא.
Okay, he quotes the Bible from the book of Numbers, from the story of Balak, and Balak's prophecy that a nation will rise like a young lion. Hen am ke'ari hakum uke'levi yitnasa, like a lion it will roar And then the continuation of the verse, which is oftentimes forgotten, Lo yishkav ad yochal teref, it shall not lie down until he eats prey, v'dam chalalim mishteh, and the blood of the dead it shall drink.
הרוח הזאת נוטעת בנו כוחות אדירים, ליזום, לפעול, ובעזרת השם, לנצח.
This special spirit that we have gives us ability to shoot forward, and with the help of God, we will be successful.
אחיי ואחיותיי, לאורך כל שנותיי כראש ממשלת ישראל.
Oh, here we go. This is about himself. He says, for all the years that I've been Prime Minister of Israel, and like this is him talking about himself now.
האיום האיראני תמיד עמד לנגד עיניי.
This is a fact. He says, the Iranian threat has always stood before my eyes.
הפעולות שנקטנו אל מול האיום הקיומי הזה עיכבו את תוכנית הגרעין של איראן בעשור שנים.
The operations that we did, the covert operations, pushed back the deployment of an Iranian nuclear weapon by tens of years.
עיכבו אותה, אבל לא עצרו אותה.
It's delayed them, but did not stop them. That's right.
בשנים האחרונות איראן העשירה אורניום ברמה גבוהה שמספיקה ל9 פצצות אטום.
The Iranian regime had enriched uranium that would give them the ability to create 9 of these atomic weapons.
ובחודשים האחרונים איראן נקטה צעדים בתחום ההנשקה, הנשקה מלשון נשק, צעדים שהיא לא עשתה אף פעם.
And in the last few months, Iran took steps that it had not taken previously to weaponize their fissile material.
וצעדים אלה קרבו את איראן להשגת נשק גרעיני בתוך זמן קצר.
And this allowed them to be prepared in a short amount of time for deploying that nuclear weapon.
נשק שיכול לאיים על עצם קיומנו.
And this is an existential threat for us.
ובנוסף לגרעין, יש עוד איום קיומי שאיראן מפתחת נגדנו. איראן בונה מאגר עצום של טילים בליסטיים. טילים
And the other side of it is not just a nuclear threat, but also the ballistic missile threat.
אלו מגיעים מאיראן לישראל תוך דקות ספורות.
That could reach Israel within minutes and strike at Israel.
כל אחד מהם נושא טון חומר נפץ.
Every one of them could carry a ton of explosive material.
התוכנית של איראן היא לייצר תוך 3 שנים 10,000 טילים כאלה, ובתוך 6 שנים 20,000.
They were seeking to create within 3 years.
10,000 and then within...
I thought it was within 3 years 10,000, within 6 years 20,000.
ולמדינה בגודל של ישראל, זהו איום בלתי נסבל.
We cannot withstand the threat like that.
אנחנו פועלים להסיר גם אותו. הכוונה של איראן חדה כתער. בלב טהרן הם הציבו שעון ענק, שעון שסופר את הזמן עד להשמדת ישראל.
In the heart of Tehran, the Iranian regime put down a clock, and that clock was a countdown to the destruction of Israel.
מאז המהפכה החומייניסטית באיראן לפני 46 שנים, משטר האייתולות קורא בכל הזדמנות, מוות לישראל.
46 years since the Islamic Revolution, they are calling every day for the destruction of Israel, and they say it out loud.
מוות לישראל. ולא מדובר רק במילים, מדובר גם במעשים.
Not just talk, action to kill Jews and Israelis.
איראן בנתה מפלצת טרור אזורית ובינלאומית נגדנו. היא מובילה את מה שהיא מגדירה התוכנית להשמדת ישראל.
Iran's got what they call the plan to destroy Israel, and that included these proxy groups that attack terrorists that form a noose around Israel's neck.
כך קוראים לזה. היא חימשה עד צוואר את גורותיה סביבנו. החמאס בעזה, החיזבאללה בלבנון, החות'ים בתימן.
All right, so Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Houthi in Yemen, and these are just some of the proxies, and there are others as well.
גם אחרים. מאז מתקפת ה7 באוקטובר, אנחנו ריסקנו חלק גדול מציר הרשע הזה.
Since the 7th of October, as I was saying to you, that actually was an impetus, and he says to destroy a large part of this terror network.
אבל כל ההישגים הכבירים שלנו, כולם ירדו לטמיון, אם איראן תצליח לפתח ארסנל גרעיני ועשרות אלפי טילים בליסטיים.
But all the stuff, all the covert wars that we did against them would just go down to meaninglessness if we allow them to have a nuclear weapon and the ability to have send the payload with these missiles.
זו הסיבה שאחרי מתקפת הטילים של איראן בשנה שעברה, כינסתי את ראשי מערכת הביטחון ואמרתי להם, המשימה שלכם היא לפגוע בו זמנית גם בתוכנית הגרעין וגם בתוכנית הטילים.
That's why I gave orders to prepare a plan to strike at the same time against the nuclear capability as well as the missile production capability.
אמרתי לצמרת הביטחונית שלנו, אין לנו ברירה אלא לפעול במהירות.
We have no, I told the security folks, we have no choice but to act quickly, to act with haste. I'll give you a minute to analyze what you're hearing so far. And in the meantime, I will find that video.
Sure. While you're looking for it, I'm just going to say, looking at these 300 strikes so far tonight, I'm amazed at the amount of preparation and precision that goes into Israeli military planning, because no sortie is wasted, no missile, no flight is wasted. All of these strikes, the nuclear facilities, the top military leaders, the top scientists, the oil refineries, these are all strategic targets. And that's it. Just that's all I wanted to say. Is it's remarkable, it's amazing, and there's 2 more weeks of these strikes planned.
At least, who knows? Yeah. That's what we're being told.
So they're telling us they expect 2 more weeks. And by the way, when he talked about the country supporting and listening, there were instructions given within minutes of the start of this war that all surgeries at the hospitals in Israel that were not emergency were going to be postponed till after this war. The main medical facilities were being moved down to the basements of the hospital. Hospitals are ready for whatever wounded or casualties there are. The country is ready for a war and to deal with whatever comes to it. And the people are being told to be ready and work with the country, with Home Command, with the hospitals, etc. So this is the country ready. Country's at war.
That's right. This is the little note that the Prime Minister went kind of urgently yesterday to the Western Wall, and he put this note inside the Western Wall as a prayer to God, saying, "A nation will arise like a young lion, and like an older lion will raise itself up." And so that's very a moving kind of note there that he put into the wall, very ominous.
Anybody reading it would see it as a prayer,
right?
And a biblical reference to a biblical verse. But it was a prayer for the success of this mission.
Wow.
Is how I read that now.
Oh, certainly. God bless all of you wherever you are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Yo, our producer. Thank you very much for joining us. God bless you wherever you are. Stay tuned. Stay strong. Stay praying. Stay part of the story. Stay in the fight, because the fight is on and a great light is coming forth from Yerushalayim. God bless you folks wherever you are. Lots of love, lots of blessings, and shalom.
Amen.